Time's up, Admiral.
Here it comes.
All kids out of the pool for Adult Swim. All kids out.
Lego Lord of the Rings Balrog raised eyebrows for what some fans say is an unfortunate pose. I see it. I see it. Oh, I see it. It's taking a piss on Gandalf.
You shall not!
And he says to her, listen, you got a fine white girl ass. So I don't like the look of this D. Listen, I don't need gay or straight boner pills. My boner works just fine.
Before you go, one question.
Yes?
Where in the galaxy is Sanusi?
Show us your tits and I'll tell you.
Yeah, I want to see movies! I think I've died and gone straight to honker heaven. Boobs are amazing.
Amazing. Hail and howdy, everybody. Welcome to the Daily Dive, the double D's, where you, the chat, the gatekeepers. You are the gatekeepers. You are in charge. You make this show go around. I can only take it so far. Sometimes you have to come on board, grab the wheel, kick old man Boomer aside and say, no, we're going to go here. Has happened. Has happened. Otherwise, the show doesn't go on. Otherwise, the show just ends sometimes. And we want you guys to have as much entertainment as possible. I hope everybody is having a good Tuesday. It's Tuesday, not my favorite day of the week, but we're here nonetheless. I had a crap night. I had a crap night. This lingering sickie that I got just always. I'm fine during the day for the most part. Whenever I want to go to sleep, though, it resurges, and it just makes it so difficult to go to sleep between my nose and coughing and. But I did get sleep. We'll call it sleep, so that I can function here and now. Had a nice breakfast, ready to join you guys and go over the events of the day so far. It is 1 o'clock on the Eastern Seaboard here in these United States of America, and we are now going to try and have some fun. And we have fun based upon the rules of the show, and the rules of the show are as follows. $10 gets you an Adam rant on just about anything. The throat, the voice has recovered, so rants are really back on the table if you want one. $15, ask me a question. I'll tell you no lies. We'll have conversations. That's the one I really, really want you guys to focus on a lot, because I think that creates the best elements of the show, where you ask me something nerd-related, pop culture-related, and we just talk back and forth, have conversations. I love that. $50 also gets you a hot take instant reaction to an article we may come across in the news. If you want me to focus in on it and do that thing we do where I have to come up with my idea right away. No time to sit on it. No time to simmer. I gotta be quick on the ball. And then, of course, $35 get you chat. Made me watch this reviews, where you choose a movie or an episode of television and I review it live on this show without. Well, I get prep time, of course. I have to watch a movie, but no takesy backsies, no thinking about it, no edits. It's live, unfiltered, and we got one tomorrow. Let me check on the name of it again. We're going to do that tomorrow because I did not have time last night because we had to do Doctor Who Cares reviews with Jed and Dermy. Southland Tales, courtesy of our buddy Kel. So we'll be doing that one tomorrow. And that's it. As people may be wondering, if you haven't been around for a while, Adam, what happened to $20 react to a video? We have had to remove that because I got a copyright strike, not a claim, a strike, because Sinclair got a B up its ass that we watched an interview from a decade ago. So no more of that. That's why the denominations have changed on the tier there, on the donation tier, because just to spread out that $20, which you guys would have spent otherwise. So that's why the things change. You guys have approved of it so far. Have not heard complaints. Anyway, at the same time, it is December. It is December, which means it's the season of giving. And you can give to me on the current donation tier for December, the Be Merry tier or the Be a Grinch tier. For every $100 per tier, I have to either be merry to somebody or a Grinch to somebody until Christmas. After that, things go back to normal. If you drop that flat 100, you get to choose. Otherwise, it's basically those who have contributed to that tier get to huddle up and have a little discussion who I'm going to be merry or a Grinch to. Currently, I have to be married to my bestest buddy in the world, Dermy. And on the other side of that, I have to be a Grinch to the likes of Weasel, who's a shaved furry, who is now writing his own script for Zootopia 3 as we speak. And Kratos, who basically has it out for me. He wants me to be, destitute on the street, just begging for cat food. That's what he wants. He just wants me to suffer. He lives for it. Wants me to cry. He's a bastard for that. Anyway, okay, so there's the rules. And for an extra $50 per person, you can have me be extra nice or extra dick. Basically, positive reinforcement or extra bullying. And this is something that people got confused of. You can reverse it. When each tier can reverse a Be Merry or a Grinch. You can reverse it on each new one. So there you go. We're going to run this until Christmas, and we're having fun with it so far. So if you send a tip or a super chat or gift memberships, please let me know where you want it to go, Merry or Grinch. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing all right. Hail to the chat. Hail to the gatekeepers. Hope you guys are doing all right. Hail Arctic Warrior. Hail the Goddess. Hail anybody else out there. Let's, what are we going to do today? I got one thing. We're going to need you guys to decide what you want to really talk about after the news and stuff like that. Because I only got the one thing. Maybe the news will give us more to work with today than it has. But I will say this, though, just leading up to the one thing I want to talk about. We have talked about this in the past, and we're going to talk about gaming. And this can be pushed over to the likes of movies and television and books and comics, stuff like that. But we live in this era where, let's be brutally honest, those out there lack creativity. They lack innovation. They lack insight as to what people want. They also lack inspiration because we're not dealing with an era of people working in all these industries for the most part. There are people out there who know what they're doing, but we're working with people who generally have zero ideas. They don't know what they want to create because they can't create anything because they're not truly creative. These are people who have been trained to do something. It is my pure belief, and you can disagree with me on this. It is my belief that you either can or you cannot. You can or you cannot. What do I mean by that? You're either creative or you're not. You can have ideas. Everybody can have ideas. But actually turning the idea into something, flushing it out, making it grow, building something is different than just having the idea. That is the creativity. And also then coming up with something new, coming up with something interesting. And that's the trick today, guys. That's the trick. Everything's been done. We are hundreds, thousands of years into storytelling and idea working. Everything's kind of been done in one way, shape, or form. The real trick is nowadays coming up with a new idea that manages to reinvent something that's been done a lot before. How do you do that? You ask, well, Ad, how do you do that? There's various ways. To me, the best way to do that is characters. If you come up with compelling characters with good origins, good character arcs, believable, relatable, interesting. That goes a long way to making it fresh, reinventing it. And that's when you look at the host of things that are being made, this is why people cannot make anything new anymore, because they cannot come up with good characters that we care about. They have no idea. Mainly because a lot of the people who are creating stuff today either don't have life experience, or they've been indoctrinated and only look at certain things. Now, I've been on this planet for more years than I either care to admit sometimes, or wish I had wished to have been on. I wish I was a little younger, but I've accumulated quite the experience. I've met many people, done many things. You wouldn't know it, but I have been around the world. Well, not around the world, but I've been to other parts of the world. I've traveled. I've seen things. I've done things. I've met people, met all kinds of people. I've had a whole swath of experience. I've lived at the top, and I've lived at the bottom, where every day is a worry. And I've been at the point where some days you don't where there are no worries. I've been there. I know what it feels like to not have a care in the world, and I know what it's like to worry every day, every single day, every hour, every minute. I've had the experiences, and I can translate that into characters. But there are some people out there who think they've experienced things or have been told, and that's part of the problem. They've been told, "Oh, you're special. You're a special snowflake. You know everything. You're so good at this stuff. You figured it out. We appreciate what you've done." But you haven't done anything. You've just been told all these things. And when I say you, I mean these idiots, these indoctrinated, useful idiot fools out there who then go on to get these jobs in these writer rooms, on these writing staffs, and go out and think they're making good things because they've been told what they've experienced is life. I'm sorry, a 20-something doesn't know shit. Listen, I thought I had good ideas at 22. I thought I was doing, and I mean, I was moving, crafting, blah blah blah, and they were good foundations, but I didn't have the experience. I mean, the first book in my series, and I'm going to give to you guys, Guardian of Innocence. I wrote the first draft of that at 22. It's a long time ago now. That's when I wrote the first draft of that, 22, and I thought it was perfect. I thought it was perfect. Yeah, the version you guys are going to get, nothing at all like that anymore. I rewrote that complete. After years of sitting on it, tweaking it, I full on rewrote it 4 years ago. Full on rewrote it, and it is what it is now. Good, not perfect, but really good, because it's the beginning. But the point is, at 22, I had the character creating experience. I didn't have, first of all, the writing experience. It took another decade of fan fiction writing and actual writing papers and going back to school and writing more stuff, learning how to write, be it doing proper assessment, proper grammar. It took another decade of writing work to hone the mechanics of writing. You can't just roll out there at 23, 24, 25 and create shit because you don't know anything. You don't know enough. You haven't had enough experience or practice. There is something to be said for the old adage, 10,000 hours to become a master at something. It is true. It is true. Time and practice makes perfect. But back to the original point of this. What we have here today and now with these people is this insane drought of creativity because these people don't know what they're doing. And bottom line, a lot of them are not creative. They are not creative. They don't have the ability to truly think up anything new and make new ideas, new thoughts, new worlds, new IPs. They don't. They think the shit they recycle is new and fresh and hip and hot, but it isn't. So what do you do when you run out, when you can't make ideas, you pitch the remake. Whether it's TV, movies, books, comics, video games, when you are at a dead end, you pitch the remake. And that's where we are now. So much of the shit we get thrown at us is the remake, not the reboot. Because remember, once again, let's remember the differentiation between remake and reboot. Reboot means you are continuing something that has gone dormant. I'm sorry, revival. I butchered that. Remake, reboot are the same thing. Revival versus sorry. I butchered that. I apologize. Let me reset there. The difference, this differentiation between revival and reboot/remake. Reboot, remake are essentially the same thing. Revival. A lot of people forget that there's a difference. When you want to bring back something that's been dormant, it's a revival, a continuation. Remake, reboot means you are taking something and changing it. Unfortunately, in some cases, for the modern audience, which is automatic red flag as soon as you hear that in association with anything. Nothing wrong with reviving something that has been dormant, especially if it was a fan favorite. But in this day and age, we don't really want them to do that. We don't want them to do that because a lot of these things were made back in the day by creatives. Perfect example, one I keep bringing back right now. There's the Buffy revival coming, the Buffy reboot. It's really a revival because it's continuing that. But it's being done without Joss Whedon. Joss Whedon, for all the bastard that he is, was a creative man. He made new and interesting things. And he had a style that unfortunately people have tried to replicate for the past 20 years and have failed over and over again to do. If you're going to revive something, you have to bring back the people. That's why there's that good slim, ever thin hope concerning the Stargate continuation that's coming out because they brought back the guys who were involved with SG-1 and Atlantis. If you're going to have a chance, you have to bring back the people. But most of these things, these revivals these days, they're not bringing back original people. So we have fear. It's like, oh no. And also the kind of humor that or content that's involved with that doesn't fly with today's censorship of ideas and thoughts. I.e., you might offend somebody. The hell. So we've got that problem. But then, of course, when they don't want to just revive something, the dreaded reboot remake. And we get that. And nobody ever really wants a reboot or remake. The only time a reboot or remake is only, in my opinion, applicable when you have to meet certain criteria. One, there's been enough distance from the last time this something was made. At least minimum a decade. Minimum a decade. At the same time, second criteria that must be required, the first version may not have been perfect. I know people don't want to use the word perfect, but let's just say, all right, we'll phrase that, accurate. My favorite example, Full Metal Alchemist. The original anime was a very imperfect show because it was being created while the mangaka, while she was writing, Rumiko, I think it's for Rumiko, was still writing, doing the manga, the source material. So at a certain point, the anime outpaced the manga, or early on it did too, really early on. And they went their own way and created an inferior story. So a decade later, we got Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, which is the accurate, source-based, lore-based version. 99.9% accurate to the manga, which is why it's my preferred version. There are a couple good things in the first FMA, but Brotherhood is that's why it ranks among people's top anime of all time, because it is just so good, so strong and powerful in its storytelling, its character work. But those are my criteria, the necessity, and primary, most important, that is to be the second one, that the previous first versions are truly imperfect in a way. And it needs a better version, a more accurate version, maybe a version that had more money spent on it to truly give it the time. That's why when they announced the Harry Potter TV shows before it all began here, I was all for it, because to me, television is a better medium for adapting books and comics and stuff like that, because you have more time to tell the story. You're not trying to cram story in an entire book into 2 to 3 hours on a movie screen, where inevitably you have to cut shit. So when I hear reboot remake, I automatically cringe, because to me, the stuff they want to choose, usually there hasn't been enough time. And while it's rampant in television and movies, it also exists in gaming. I mean, there has been a rash of, there have been remakes for lots of years. But in the gaming industry, for the recent past, for the intelligent past, it's stuff that was from a distant generation. Perfect example right now. I got them right here. I'll be playing them when we get back to gaming streams. Square Enix's HD 2D series for Dragon Quest. These two games right here, these were NES games. These three games, because there's two in the second one here. These were NES games. That's 30, 40 years ago at this point. Completely different generation, the beginning of it all. So it makes sense to, first of all, do a remake. Maybe give the creators, the original creators who worked on these, give them a chance to, as they went forward and thought about more about the worlds, especially this one, which takes place in its own world. These three are the Urge trilogy, which take place on their own world. It's one world here. Maybe we could have more, or maybe add to it, because remember, 3 chronologically come before 1 and 2. So maybe now, when you remake 3, you could put stuff in there, plant some seeds, and you can remake stuff for 1 and 2, which I believe they did. We'll find out when we get there. But to do it, and then of course you have the option. How do we do this? Well, they chose to do it with the callback to the top-down classic JRPG system. They didn't 3D up this shit. They HD 2D'd it. It looks like old school hand-drawn type of stuff, but it's of course CGI. But you know what I'm talking about. It looks like the old school stuff, just all pretty and nice. And this is when you do something, when something deserves it. And they understand the medium. Keep it in 2D. Don't try to three-dimensional it. Keep it in 2D. So they understand their assignments. In a little while, we're going to talk. The reason I'm talking about this is because we're going to talk about the fact that something broke yesterday due to court filing documents, things that should not be remade, because the original versions are just fine. They should have been remastered. There's the other R word: revival, remake, remaster. 3 different things. Remaster is kind of what we always just want for older games that, for the most part, are great and are near perfect. Just make them look all pretty and nice for us current day hardware, so that we can play them, because some of them are hard to play on current hardware. They don't want to work on current hardware. And I'll get into this when I get to that topic after the news. I'll give you guys some time to decide if you want to do anything. That's the thing, though. Remake, revival, remaster, the 3 R's. 2 of them are great when the proper criteria are there, and one of them, you're always hesitant, because sometimes they should be left exactly where they are. I'm referring to revival. Sometimes things should be left exactly where they were, where they ended. Oh boy! So I wanted to warm us up with that conversation for my topic when I get to it after the news, because as I said when we started, I don't got much today. I don't got much. Don't have much. So relying on you guys to do your thing, be the gatekeepers that you are, and pick some extra content for us to discuss. So with all that said, I'm gonna blow my nose, and we will get into the news. Man, I just want this cold to whatever this is to finally end. 3 weeks now. 3 weeks I've had this disgusting thing that's been bugging me. Anyway, all right. So where's the news? Wait a minute. Oh, that is it. Sorry, I had wrong tab. Didn't recognize it. I had started wrong tab. All right, let's refresh. Okay, so hail and howdy, everybody coming in while I was doing my little monologue there. Hope you guys are doing all right on Tuesday. Remember to hit that like button. Hit the like button. We got to show YouTube that you care, because like Kel says, YouTube is asshole. YouTube is asshole. They're dicks. The algorithm is screwing us over big time every day. But you, the gatekeepers, the chat, you guys are the ones that can influence. You can affect, and we can bully through the algorithm with your help by subscribing, by liking, by chatting, by doing all the things that force the algorithm to pay attention. Watch the videos, watch the streams. That's how we do it. Then we build the bigger base, share the channel. The bigger our audience is, the more traction we can get, the more people that show up and watch the stuff. That's how it works. That's how you beat the algorithm when it doesn't work with you. Anyway, all right, let's get to the news, shall we? Let's see what we got today. The Hunting Wives cast: John Stamos, Cam Gigant. I don't know. I've never heard of this. Good for John Stamos getting work though, other than Full House revival. Neon UFO select Delomio, director Diana Peralta, excuse me, for a second. I don't care. Russell Crowe criticizes Gladiator 2, a really unfortunate example of the creative team not understanding what made for a special. Boom, boom. This goes to exactly what I was just talking about. There was no reason to do a revival of the Gladiator franchise. A lot of people universally agree Gladiator 1 is a great movie all on its own. You don't need to keep going. It has a solid ending. There's no need to keep going forward. Gladiator 2 was Ridley Scott thinking he could still make a good movie. And of course, when you cast people like Pedro Pascal, you're doomed. You're doomed. You're doomed for a shitty movie. But there's a perfect example. There's no reason to revive something that was set, that had a solid, good place that it stopped. Creatively bankrupt. See, look at that. I didn't know that was in here. Fits perfectly into today's theme. Mr. Nobody against Putin. Directors, I don't. Kate Hudson received Icon honor at Palm Springs. Why is Kate Hudson going to receive an Icon honor for anything? She's a mid-tier actress who is, frankly, where she is because of nepotism. She's there because of nepotism. Plain and simple. Nothing spectacular about Kate Hudson. Nothing at all. Her mother was much funnier and much more talented when she was in her active part of her career than Kate Hudson was. AMC Networks hires Annie Luo, president of streaming growth. Good luck with that. Craig Coleman to leave longtime post at Atlantic Records. Don't care about music. Remake review. Ross McElway's exquisite reflection on a lost son and the filmed life that remains. Sure. Best TV shows of 2025. Wow. Honestly, I probably don't know half of them. Probably more. If we read that list, I guarantee I probably haven't heard of at least 2/3 of them. And everything. Here's the problem in rating things today, and because that connects to a story that's been bugging me for the past couple of days. How they're all the stands and the shills out there for James Gunn DCU and Superman 2025 runners like, oh look, IMDb says that Superman's the #1 watched movie in the world. There is literally no accurate way. Truly, there isn't anymore. I mean, it was Nielsen's as they used to exist were never perfect, but at least gave a better snapshot. But today, there literally is no accurate way to tell what's truly great outside of perhaps money. Closest thing is money. And even then, people don't know how to accurately interpret box office. We do our best around here. A lot of people don't know how to interpret box office because the entertainment media want to constantly push gross, gross, gross without explaining that gross does not mean success. Gross does not mean profit. But people don't know that. And they don't want to educate people because that way they can keep running with lies and try and tell you that Superman was a success. That Predator Badlands is the most successful Predator movie of all time. Oh, but not when you adjust for inflation. So what is the best of something? There's no good way to tell anymore. Because the Nielsen's track streaming billions or millions of minutes viewed, which is a bullshit metric. Samba tries with what they do, but it's also a snapshot because it's not truly scanning everything, that all the ways people are watching things. And then, of course, you can't believe what you hear online. X is a sewer of retards. The smallest amount of people can make it look like there's a giant groundswell of interest in something when in fact there isn't. Just look at everything we focus on. If you believed the circle jerking stands, short bus riding stands on X, you would think that Disney Star Wars is great. You would think it was top of the world. You'd think the MCU was just fine. You think the DCU is just fine. You think that certain games are the greatest thing in the world, when in fact, no, these are small, isolated groups of people that are not intelligent, and two, being manipulated, puppeteered by others. So there is no way to truly say what is best. Will be this and that. There isn't anymore. Ratings used to tell us things. The ratings don't tell us shit anymore. And not to mention, now we're at a point where everybody just wants to fight. Let's be honest. Everybody just wants to fight these days. Oh, and I hate to bring it up. I'm just going to bring it up for the sake, because it's that time of year. Die Hard's a Christmas movie. Die Hard isn't a Christmas movie. People just want to fight about stuff. Oh, this is good. Oh, that is good. Back in the time, we all used to have our opinions. Yeah, for a minute, go at it, and then walk away. But no, people want to just continue to harp. And you know what it is? You know what it is? You know what it is? It is in part due to interactions. To use X as an example again, everybody wants interactions. Everybody wants interactions on X. So they're going to say shit that generates arguments and fights. What do you think of this? How do you feel about this all this time later? Which one is better? These retarded freaking questions that they put out there just to get interactions, just get a little bit of that Elon money. And that's what's wrong. People are doing shit without the intention of actually having a real conversation. That is why, to whether it's my benefit or my detriment, I pride the fact that this channel is about open discussion, where we do not just say things to get attention. When I bring something up, or on a panel, Jed brings something up, or Dre, or Dermy, or Beardo, when we bring something up on the panels that we all are part of, it's done to make sure we're having a real discussion. It's not done just to get attention. It's not done just to get eyes on us. It's done because, you know what? The person asking the question really wants to have a discussion. And a lot of times, we're not all going to see eye to eye. Perfect example. Let's go back to Saturday Night Drive-In from this past Saturday. Jed and I had a really good discussion about Interstellar. If you haven't watched it, go watch it here or on Jed's channel. There was a point, and Jed said it was the first time he heard anybody actually have be that version of criticism movie where I was having a problem with the narrative. Jed completely disagreed with me. But we talked about it. We didn't fight. We just talked about it and weighed each other's perspectives. And in the end, of course, we didn't agree. But it's not about trying to convince somebody to agree with you. It's not about fighting and yelling and screaming just for the sake of it. No, it's about making sure you have, in my opinion, a solid, real discussion where you flush out all points, leave everything on the table. That's what I pride this channel on. It's not about flash or flash and banging. It's not about chasing the dragon. It's about discourse. It's not about yelling and screaming. It's about talking, a real discussion. Not even about debating. It's about talking, making sure we understand what we are looking at. And sometimes we agree and sometimes we disagree. And that's fine. But it doesn't have to break down to yelling and screaming and behaving like fucking idiots. So there's no saying what's the best. It's this, and people lack objectivity too to decide what's best. There's no objectivity anymore. Very little bit. It's all subjectivity. I pride myself on being as objective as I can on things. I pride myself on it. Barbershop TV series adds people who I don't know about, who I don't know. And we asked that. Oh, actually, I do know this dude. I recognize him. But we asked that question too. Well, I asked him when we came across this a couple weeks ago when this popped up. Why is there a barbershop show? That doesn't have a fan base worthy of it. Those movies were middling, nothing movies that got worse over time. Barbershop TV show. Sophia Bush sets road trip comedy and Roku channel. Lauren Holly and Steve Guttenberg to co-star. Wow. Lauren Holly and her big-ass fake titties. I'm down for it. I'm down for Lauren Holly and her big fake tits. I'm there for it. I am there. Steve Guttenberg. Wow, where's Mahoney been? Where's Mahoney been? Don't care about Telemundo. Don't care about Telemundo and FIFA. Chanel Jones is Jenna Bush Hager's new partner at 10 a.m. today. Sure. Black Rabbit, White Rabbit wins top honor at Heinen. I don't care about your rewards, crap. Man who rushed Ariana Grande at Wicked premiere, kicked out of Lady Gaga concert in Australia. Yeah, from what I remember hearing, that dude's a professional troll. He does that shit to get attention. Matt Gutman, first new on-air talent to join CBS News in Barry Rice era. I don't know who that dude is. Emily in Paris. Don't care about in Paris. I just started weeping. Jacob, is that an L Dorl? I don't know if that's an I or an L. I hate their font here. I hate their font. Frankenstein and Marty Supreme. I don't care. Don't care. Young Sherlock hero Flens Tiffin is a globetrotting Holmes and first image of Guy Ritchie's new series. I'm not a Guy Ritchie fan. I know people want to suck his dick over The Gentleman and shit like that. I've seen the movie. I thought it was okay. I didn't watch the show. I'm not going to suck Guy Ritchie's dick. I frankly, I think Guy Ritchie's overrated. I'll be perfectly honest. I think he's overrated. But they'll suck his dick and probably watch it. Michael B. Jordan, Tessa Thompson, and K-pop Demon Hunters among AAFCA award winners, whatever. James Cameron rejects AI actors at Heinen Festival. I wouldn't do it. Is it desirable? I could make some jokes, but I'm not going to. I don't know who this guy is, but he's been arrested in Japan. Released. Sorry, he was arrested, but released for drug smuggling allegations. Okay. All right, let's go one more in. It moved on us here. Oh, it really moved on us. Don't dare. Bollywood star, don't care. Yeah, Jimmy Kimmel got a contact extension for a year. That's weird. I wonder why. I thought this would have been the perfect opportunity to jettison him because he loses Disney money. But I guess they didn't want to have a repeat of the I stand with Jimmy bullshit. Yeah, stand with a millionaire. Jon Stewart is a preening, whining bitch. And let's go back to the beginning because it looks like some things got added. Let's go back to the beginning. Let's just click on your hand. I know what to do. Faster way. Let's just do this. No, it didn't. Then why did it shift on me? All right, done. Let's go to IGN. Well, that's a point. Setlick. That's a point to that. That's part of the writing. People think that modern writing requires a lot of cursing, a lot of F bombs, F this, F that. And it's terrible writing. These people don't know how to write. They don't. They don't. And you're talking about discussion. Sorry, you're talking about discussion. Sorry, I read that or I had to reread this. And yeah, people don't know how to talk to each other either. They don't. They don't. Stands and shills don't know how to talk. They don't. They fixed him. Infamous Battlefield 6 wicked grin, skin ditches. It's called for smile following community backlash. Okay. Here's that young Sherlock. Here we go. Don't really care about that. IGN readers say Silksong's Bilewater boss has the worst run back in a Souls game. Is Silksong really a Souls game? I need people to confirm that for me. Does it count? Lego Fortnite's big Ninjago Rise of the Ninja update is basically a whole new game in Fortnite. I watched Ninjago back in the day. It was okay. Its meta got too big for itself eventually, but it was okay. It was one of those Lego shows. Ubisoft's long-awaited pirate remake is named Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced. Ugh. Why is he dual wielding? I don't remember Edward Kenway dual wielding swords. He dual wielded pistols. I don't remember Edward Kenway dual wielding swords. I don't remember that. Bethesda Shadow drops the Elder Scrolls V Skyrim Nintendo Switch Edition. Well, it is a PS4 game, so it'll probably run fine on the Switch too. I don't care if I get to go. If I get it, I remember that. I don't care if I get let go at this point. GameStop staff reveal the dark side of Trade Anything Day as customers harassed employees and deliberately brought in banned items. See, I wouldn't have done that. If I had done, I would have tried to get money for something legitimate. Yeah, is that why he's dual wielding swords? Maybe. Major Square Enix investor slams current performance, urges other shareholders to share frank views as it calls out fundamental reassessment of its business. Well, Square Enix is trying, but if the shareholders have a rebellion, then it's within their right. I think Square Enix is moving in the right direction. I've talked about this many times. I think that their game plan is sound. If they stay the course doing 2D HDs for classic games, if they stay the course for going back to more old school formatting for Final Fantasy games, if they continue, if they can get there and release Dragon Quest 12, and if they let Yoshi P maybe revamp Final Fantasy 14 a little bit, I think they're going to be fine. I think they're fine. But shareholders, I'm not a shareholder, and even if I was, I probably wouldn't have enough to make a stink. But I want Square Enix to be successful, and I think given time they're going to right the ship completely. First official The Boys video game is a VR exclusive for MetaQuest 3 and PlayStation VR 2. All right, here's the question: does anybody care? Does anybody care enough about The Boys as an IP? First of all, to play a game. Second of all, to invest in playing it as a VR game. That's a risk. Any VR game is a risk right now because that shit it's truly a luxury if you buy one of those things. And they're not that great anyway from what I hear. So I don't believe The Boys is a game that's going to break down doors and borders. PlayStation Store League confirms Leon S. Kennedy is in Resident Evil Requiem. Oh, wow. That is big news. That's big news for the Resident Evil guys. That is big news. Pokemon card thieves caught on camera in 100K robbery. That's just the latest of its kind in Southern California. Final Fantasy VII Remake director issues update on Part 3 progress and reveals Cloud's iconic Buster Sword was almost resized to make it more realistic. Well, that would have been a mistake. But they didn't. It's still oversized. After almost a decade, Pokemon Go delights fans by finally adding remote trading. And for now, there are no strings attached. Yeah, that's the point. For now, they squeeze those people for money every chance they get. Star Wars Daisy really reveals her thoughts on Adam Driver's Hunt for Ben Solo revelation and fan reaction. I don't care. And if she was smart, she'd keep her mouth shut and not get involved in the idiocy, the supreme stupidity surrounding Hunt for Ben Solo. You notice how that's dying down now? Because it was never anything at all. And people who got behind it are brainless, witless, fake fan tourists in stands. Nintendo released a Switch and Switch 2 system update, whatever. Blueprints creator Tonda Ross. I will never make a sequel. I believe that Blueprints game sort of like some sort of puzzle mystery game or something like that. I don't know. Moving on. Okay. And there it is. We will come back to this in just a moment. The whole reason I went down my whole remake, reboot, revival, remastered discussion today. Whole catalyst for it. All right. Park Place. Exclusive. Warner Brothers Discovery abruptly postpones employee town hall as the Paramount hostile takeover bid rages on. Yeah. There's nothing to report on that. It's simply happening. We'll see how that goes. Soaring Across America opening date confirmed for Disney World, Disneyland. Golden Globe snub. Don't care. Even if they don't care if they snub Joe Rogan. And Paramount SEC filing shows Warner Brothers Discovery Board ignored superior $30 per share offer to favor Netflix because I maintain of the $5.8 billion breakup fee. I believe. All right, let me blow my nose. You guys can start considering your stuff if you wanna do anything, and we'll get to what I want to talk about. So give me 1 second. Okay, that's better. Well, see, that's the thing. You have it, but you don't even use it because it's not really. I don't think it's providing any sort of game-changing gaming experience at this point. I really don't. Really do not. It's not real VR. It's pseudo VR is what it is. It's just trying to trick you, thinking you're in VR. Anyway, all right. Let's check. We got anything going on? Nope. You guys are not directing the show, so we'll go with my segment, and you guys can have a chance to direct the questions, direct the show afterwards. And if after I'm done with what I want to say, we'll be done, and we'll go our separate ways, and I will go about my mundane house chores that I have to do. Anyway, okay. So the whole reason I brought up revivals, remake, reboots, remasters today is because I came across this particular story last night, and it has started a somewhat of a discussion firestorm on social media. What am I talking about? Well, we got this yesterday. Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2 remake plans revealed as KOTOR 1 reimagining continues development at Saber. A KOTOR 2 remake was on the roadmap as of March. Now, let's read this and we'll get into this bullshit because it's bullshit. Saber Interactive's troubled KOTOR 1 remake is reportedly still in development, and a KOTOR 2 remake may be on the way too. It's not happening. Their KOTOR 1 remake is not happening. Granted, the dumb, agenda-driven bitch that was a part of it before, she's not there anymore, but still, let's make this completely understood. Real Star Wars fans, real Star Wars gamers never asked for a KOTOR remake. All we ever wanted was a remaster. That is a game. Both games are near to perfection in terms of gameplay, presentation, characters, mechanics, story. Great, fantastic. Classic. One is BioWare, the other one's Obsidian, but still Choices matter games. They just need remasters. And if you and KOTOR 2 doesn't need a remaster because the modding community made it look pretty good on PC now. It's beautiful. Plays great. Doesn't need it unless you want to change it to fit Disney Star Wars. Let's keep going. The latest update in the long-in-the-works Star Wars remake came from a game file report which pulls from court documents related to a false advertising lawsuit launched against Saber's Aspire Media and Lucasfilm in 2023. Recently filed records related to the suit, which involved the cancellation of the Restored Content Modification RCM for the Nintendo Switch KOTOR 2 re-release, appear to contain both updates for KOTOR Remake as well as mentions of a mysterious project known as Juliet. This is why discovery is important and why most of the time Disney and other big corpos run away from actually being in court, because you get to discovery, you get shit like this that they really probably don't want out in the wild. I guarantee Disney, Saber didn't want anybody to know how mired the KOTOR 1 remake is, and that they're working on the KOTOR 2 remake, because it's not something real fans want. The people that want it are pigs that line up the trough and eat the slop. And I will say to you, oink for me, piggy, oink. That's who want this. The fake fans, the stands, the tourists. The people who do not have Star Wars best interests in mind. Attorney Ray Kim prodded for details about what Project Juliet was during the deposition of Lucasfilm Games Vice President Doug Riley. The Star Wars company's VP response left little room for ambiguity. Juliet was the code name for a project where we're going to do a full remake of KOTOR 2 with modern art, modern gameplay, keep the story and the characters and the general content of KOTOR 2, but remake it for modern hardware and modern machines with updated graphics and all those kinds of things. It was something we were discussing with Aspire. That's not a remake. That's a remaster. That's essentially a remaster. Upgrading it. Don't call it a remake then, because it's not. Once again, we talk about proper definitions. And anyway, if you look at the Steam version, what do you need modern gameplay? I don't need KOTOR 2 to be an action RPG, at least not in the sense that today's is. It's still turn-based. It's just active turn-based. You can pause it and select things. I don't need it to be like Jedi Survivor, Jedi Fallen Order. I don't need it to be like that. It is great the way it is. And the graphics are pretty good. They hold up pretty well, especially when they read the upscaled. After that long-lost cut KOTOR 2 content, Riley clarified the plan was we would remake the content that was in the RCM as it relates to Star Wars and that Juliet project. Whether or not a KOTOR 2 remake remains in development is hazy for now, with Riley's last update saying Juliet was technically on the roadmap as of March 2025. Should Saber continue development, it seems the plan is for reimagined version of the entire experience. Yeah, we know what reimagined means. Reimagined means not the original game, which means adapting it to Disney Star Wars. Anything they do, all the games these people make today are adapted to fit into Disney Star Wars canon, not George Lucas Star Wars canon, which is what KOTOR 1 and KOTOR 2 did, which then led to SWTOR. Many other details. Oh, sorry, first part there. Even though it's going to be included in the final build. Many other details on SWTOR KOTOR remake remain a mystery, but the good news is that Riley says we're starting with the remake of KOTOR 1. And yeah, that's a remake. It's a remake. Remake is said to be now in the hands of the team behind Hellraiser Revival at Madhead Games. It's yet another update on the remake of the classic Star Wars video game that was first out, blah, 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 blah. Here's the thing. No gamer who loves Star Wars games asked for this. We want a remaster. That's all we want. We don't want a remake that will canonize, and we know they'll do a canonize Revan as a woman. Or change shit to fit the modern audience, to fit Disney Star Wars, because that's what they would do. Leave it alone. Leave it alone. But no, you have to go back and you have to butcher things. You have to hack it up. You have to put it back together as a Frankenstein monster. And then say, look, we made it better. No, you didn't. No, you did not. KOTOR 1 is not a long game. It's actually a very short game, only about 20 hours. KOTOR 2 is a little bit longer. And at the same time, guess what? The restored content, it's already out there. The modders did it. They put it back in themselves years ago. I have it. I've played it many times. I don't need Saber to do it. Modders who gave a damn for over a decade worked on it and put it out there. I remember when they were still working on it, in the pre-completed version where they hadn't completed the droid planet yet. But when I and a buddy of mine worked tirelessly, this is before Steam. This is 2012, where you still got physical copies of PC games, where we put it on there and we had to painstakingly put the files in the right places so the base game would recognize it and make it run. Now with Steam, the modders just do it. I push a button, integrates it magically. But that's how far back I go with working the restored content. I was there when they were working on it, when those who was doing it, when it was a real challenge to make it work. And it works. Does it look perfect? No, of course not. These are not professionals. These are just modders working with their mundane tools, their average tools. But they did it already. I don't need Saber to do it. It's been done. So I don't want you. And when I say I will proudly speak for the thousands upon thousands of real Star Wars fans and gamers out there. We don't want your KOTOR remakes. We don't. We didn't ask for it. We're not going to buy it. Fake fans, stand shields, tourists, those who do not have the best interest of Star Wars at heart, they'll buy it. But they don't amount to anything. They are not a base that can lead your company to success. I despise this era we live in, where they continue to pretend that we want this, that the real fans want this when we don't. Now, bottom line, I think both these games are never going to happen. These things are in development hell. They're never going to make it out. Because, and I'll tell you this, you know it, I know it, the real world knows it. The stands don't, but we know it. Star Wars doesn't move the needle. Disney has destroyed the IP so thoroughly that Star Wars games, merch, movies, their shows, there's no money in it anymore. The golden goose is dead. The eggs are broken. The eggs have turned to lead. There's no money to be made in Star Wars. And that's why I think these games will never see the light of day. They're never going to get. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. If it happens, nothing I can do with that. But I don't think this is ever going to happen because they don't tell you anything about it anymore. They don't. Not a damn thing. Go play real KOTOR 1. It's not the best experience because they spread it out. And that's part of why we want a reformatting, because when I play it on my Steam, it stretches it if I want to go full screen. It stretches it retardedly, and I hate it for that. But KOTOR 2 looks beautiful. KOTOR 2 looks beautiful. That doesn't need anything done to it. There you go. That's all I got to say about this. I'm done. Okay. Let me blow my nose again, and then we'll see if you guys want to continue going on, or we might be done. You think they'll get it out for the messaging, Cal? You think they'll waste all that money just for more messaging? I don't know if they can afford that anymore. That's my thing. I don't know if they can afford it. Yeah, see, I don't think they would do that. That would be one thing, but they would make it today's gameplay, and that's why KOTOR worked the way it was. That's why KOTOR worked the way it was. It was its own style, and it was a style we liked. It was a style we liked. That so you guys think that's that Jimmy Kimmel's message is why I can see your line of thought on that. I can see your line of thought on that. But gaming is much more expensive than Kimmel. Much more expensive. All right, let me check the. Nope. All right. Looks like you guys are not spending money on me today. The grifts remain in check. The tears remain stagnant. So we're gonna end the show then. I got nothing else to talk about. I'm out of show. I'm out of stuff. So there we go, guys. All right then. Thank you guys for being here today. No gaming stream tonight because, as I've been saying, excuse me. As I've been saying, I cannot seem to land on a game I want to stream that is stream worthy, that we haven't already done before, or I want to, or I have. I mean, well, I have games. Like I said, when we get past Christmas, we will begin a Dragon Quest 3 HD2D remake playthrough. We'll begin that, and we'll probably play through all three of the games. Do that because that'll be fun. Let me go. Let's open it. Look on a physical copy. It's great. So we'll be checking that out, but that's not till after Christmas. Until Christmas, we don't have anything I will solo play stream for you guys because I'm not playing the exciting games. Apparently, I'm not playing the exciting games right now that everybody else is playing. So why I'm not going to try and fight my way in there. And the games I am playing are either private play. I'm already well into them, or they're too chill that they're not really exciting. I think for streaming. So we got that. Let's see. Rest of the week. We'll see what the week holds. Tomorrow, Southland Tales. Chat made me watch this reviews. Then Friday, we got Ballbusters, Derby Karaoke, Christmas edition. And I told the goddess mentioned earlier. Make sure you guys got till roundtable on Sunday to submit your suggestions to for chat choice for Saturday Night Driving. Go to the post tab on the page. The rules are there. Submit in that section, and we will choose next week movies you guys to vote on, and we'll try to get that done before we go on Christmas break. I have Stream Snipe Weasel. That would be weird. That would be weird. Stream sniping somebody else playing a game. Oh, all right. Okay. Saturday Night Driving is Scrooged, but we also might do something else. Dermy's going to be playing a horror game this weekend. Just like with Outlast 1. If you guys want it, I will stream snipe Dermy playing that, and we can make fun of him. Well, you can make fun of him. I can't because he's my bestest buddy in the world. But you guys can. We can bring a couple guys on stream, and you guys can tease him, and we can do stuff while he gets scared and unfortunately pees his pants because he's my good buddy. I hope he should have a strong bladder. Well, as long as you don't say furry words, which are degenerate and disgusting. But so I might do that. We'll see. I might. Or I mean, it all depends how I feel on Saturday. All depends how I feel on Saturday. Whether or not I just want to say F it, I just want to eat dinner and go play another game. Now in 2 weeks, okay, I'll announce this now. It looks like for New Year's Eve. We were talking about this the other day. It looks like on New Year's Eve, we're going to be doing Ballbusters Gaming Among Us. It looks like we'll be doing an Among Us gaming stream for New Year's Eve. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Looks like we'll be doing that. Put that out there. Then, of course, Sunday Roundtable, 3 p.m. Eastern. And then, of course, every Monday for the rest of the month, you can catch Doctor Who Cares reviews. We're back to suffer the war between the land and sea. You can catch up with last night's episode here, my channel, Jed's channel, or Dermy's channel. You can catch it there. Although Dermy came in late, so he didn't get the beginning of it. But either way, catch up there, guys. All right, guys, I guess we're going to end it here. I'll give one more look. You guys can give me any money? Nope. You hate me. You don't love me. You want me to starve. But I appreciate you guys anyway. All right, guys, we're going to wrap it up then. Thank you guys for hanging out with me this afternoon. I hope you have a good rest of your day. I will see you probably tomorrow with another live stream and with a chat. Maybe watch this video. So until then, guys, you guys take it easy. I'll see you later.